Now, another thing that applies to both app stores is localization. And this basically means having the core text of your app or any of the screenshots, basically any sort of text that appears in your app, translated to some of the native languages of the biggest app stores. And these 12 languages represent the top 12 app stores. Now, I understand how this can seem really intimidating, thinking about getting your app translated into so many languages, and you might worry about the potential cost. So if you're at a stretch, I would say the bare minimum that app stores look for is Chinese, Japanese, German, French, Spanish, and Italian. And these represent some of their biggest performing stores. Basically, if they can push a product across the world, then you increase your chance of getting featured. The next thing that is really important, both on Android and iOS, is design. If you think that your app is worthy of getting featured, if you think it is a really serious contender, then I would say consider bringing on a UX designer, bringing on a UI designer, somebody that can make your app look and feel amazing, especially on the Apple App Store. Design is so important to that company that something that looks terrible, even if it works like a dream, if it looks terrible, they don't want to destroy the beautiful app store that they've created. The next point to remember is that if you are an app that has generated so much buzz around your launch that you can't be ignored by these big app stores, then you will be featured. So think about apps like Fitman Cook, where none of the team approached either Apple or Google for a feature, but just because of how much buzz there was generated around it on social media or in real life, these app stores can't shy away from featuring something that's popular. So generating buzz or generating downloads comes before any of these techniques. The last thing I want to talk about is, while a lot of these techniques work, it doesn't replace that human contact. So if you think that you've made something great, something beautiful, something really worthy of the App Store, then don't be afraid of just pitching one of the App Store managers directly. Now, I'm not going to give away anyone's email or contact details, but they're surprisingly easy to get. And one of the easiest ways is just by turning up to Google I/O or going to WWDC. There's a lot of App Store managers that float around there. And if you meet the right people and interest the right people, then it's well worth pitching one of these contacts. So a funny story from a friend of mine, Rich Pleath, who founded an app called Sup, is that he was casually Tindering, looking for a date, and happened to end up having drinks with a lady who worked at Apple. And even though I think romantically it never worked out, but since then, he's managed to get about 3 features on the Apple App Store just by hitting up his Apple buddy. So real life connections do matter. It's going to be more effective than anything else.